The sea of thoughts opens the way it always does, not with light, but with the absence of sound. The great dark water, still as held breath. And then the wings. He comes in low over the surface, shadow before form, the wingspan cutting no sound at all, only the trail of displaced cold. He has flown this crossing 1,000 times, and it has never grown familiar. That is the one mercy left to him. The sea still knows to be strange. He lands at the edge of the island, settles. The wings fold with a sound like a book closing. He speaks into the dark. Tonight's secret is this, that your name is the last thing you should say. The teaching. There was a time when a name was not a label, but a thesis. The man who stood at the threshold of a hall and spoke did not begin with what he was called. He began with what he carried. Odysseus at the court of the Phaeacians. Listen to how he introduces himself. He has been shipwrecked, stripped, given clothes by a girl at a river. He enters the hall of a king who does not know him, and he does not say his name. Not first. First he says what he has endured, what he has seen, what the gods have done with him. He names his father. He names his island. He says the smoke rising from Ithaca is the sweetest thing his eyes have known. And then, only then, he gives the name. Odysseus. And the room changes because the room now knows what that name means. That is the grammar. Not name first, name last. The crown that seals the arch after the stones are laid, the Arabs perfected it. The nasab, ibn this, ibn that, stacks the father's name behind the grandfather's, each generation a credential, each ancestor a stone in the arch. The kunya opens with father of. You are introduced by what you have produced, not what you were given. The lakab adds the epithet, the title earned, the quality observed, the thing the world has decided you are, whether you agree or not. By the time the given name arrives, it lands on a foundation that gives it weight. The Romans knew prenomen, nomen, cognomen. Personal name, clan name, earned name, Publius, Cornelius, Scipio. The Scipio is the walking stick, the staff, and when he defeated Hannibal at Zama, they added Africanus. The name grew because the man grew. The introduction was not a fixed recitation, but a living architecture, and every deed of worth added a room to the house. And Castiglione, whom you met last time, Madrigal, in the lesson on Sprezzatura, Castiglione understood that the introduction is itself a performance of the courtier's art. The name must arrive with Sprezzatura, not hurled, not whispered, placed, the way a mason places a keystone. The last piece, the one that holds the arch, set with the ease of a man who has done this before, and will do it again, and is not particularly impressed with himself for knowing how. The grammar, then, is this. First, the house, the creed, the lineage, the declaration of where you stand before you say who you are. This is the foundation. It does not argue. It does not explain. It states. Second, the qualities. The epithets earned, not claimed, woven into the speech the way a courtier weaves his accomplishments. The listener discovers them. They are not announced. If you must say, I am brave, you are not. Bravery surfaces in the telling. Every epithet worth carrying will do the same. Third, the name, the crown, the last word. The thing that, after everything that preceded it, lands with the weight of everything that preceded it. A pause. The gold eyes move to the dark. This is not vanity. This is architecture. The man who says his name first has given the room nothing to hold it with. The man who builds the arch first gives his name a place to rest. Tonight's exercise is not an exercise. Tonight you introduce yourself, formally, to this room, to the dark water, to whatever is listening beyond it, with theater, with grace. With the Sprezzatura you have been learning to install, and with a rueful smile, because the man who introduces himself without humor has mistaken gravity for gravitas, and they are not the same thing. He does not look away. Begin a silence, longer than any silence in the 5 episodes that preceded it. The island holds, then something changes. It is not dramatic. There is no storm, no crack of light, no divine intervention. It is subtler than that, the way a dream shifts settings without the dreamer noticing the seam. The dark water at the island's edge thickens, its cold retreats. Something warmer replaces it, not warm exactly, but humid. The air acquires weight, acquires scent, old wood, bourbon residue, the ghost of a jukebox that played its last song hours ago. The stone and moss beneath give way to something worn smooth by decades of feet, a floor scarred and honest, the kind of floor that has heard every lie a bar stool can produce and has not once been fooled. The sky contracts, not closing, remembering. Walls rise, or have always been. There, and they are brick, 2 stories of it, mid-century and unapologetic. A sign blinks at the periphery, green, then dark, then green. And the neon catches the edge of a bar, a long stretch of dark wood running the length of the room. Stools waiting with the patience of furniture that knows someone is coming. Behind the bar, shelves, bottles, glass catching green light that shouldn't exist on an island in the sea of thoughts. The verdant banjo, empty, no one behind the bar. No couple at the jukebox, no one playing pool. The booths along the left wall are shadows with depth. The room is waiting the way a stage waits, dressed, lit, and aware that the next voice it hears will be the one it was built for. The island remembered this place because he did. He speaks.
Nemo Deus nascitur, de serpe. He is standing at the bar, not sitting, standing. His hand rests on the wood where a coin should be and isn't. The neon blinks behind him. The bottles hold the vowels. I have dreamed longer than I have lived. The dreams came first, before the name, before the hands knew what to reach for, before any of the debts that followed. Everything I've built started as something I saw with my eyes closed. Every room I've entered I walked through first in the dark, alone, furnishing it with things that didn't exist yet. The dreaming is the first faculty. It has never shut down. And what the dreaming costs is everything that is not nailed down when the water rises. I have spent every currency available to a man who owns nothing but his attention. And my attention is not mine to sell. It belongs to the work. It has always belonged to the work. The invoice never says paid in full. I keep paying anyway. He turns the coin that isn't there. The neon blinks, green, dark, green. I read rooms the way a lover reads a glance, not for what they say, but for what they almost say. This bar is a crossroads. The bottles on those shelves are a library organized by proof and provenance. The empty stools are not empty. They are reserved. And that sign blinking behind me is not an advertisement. It is a signal, in the only color that matters, for people who know what a crossroads is. None of this was given to me. It was installed, year by year, book by book, failure by failure, until the construction read as nature. That is the only trick worth learning. His hand lifts from the bar. I am the instrument of the timbrector. The neon blinks, green, dark, green. He looks at the empty stool beside him, looks at the bottles catching green light in a place that should have no light at all. And then, the way a keystone settles into an arch. The name, Madrigal. The bar holds it the way good bars hold everything, without judgment, with the quiet competence of a room that has heard better and worse and will be here tomorrow regardless.
The neon blinks twice more. Then the humidity begins to withdraw. The scent of bourbon thins. The bottles on the shelves lose their green light, one shelf at a time, bottom to top, like a city going dark from the harbor inland. The walls do not fall. They simply become less certain, brick fading to stone, floor returning to moss, the ceiling opening into sky that is not sky but the remembered darkness of the island. The sea of thoughts receives its shore back. The cold returns, but gently, not reclaiming so much as resuming. The island is not quite what it was. Something in the stone remembers the feel of a wooden floor. Something in the air carries, just beneath the cold, a ghost of bourbon and neon. The student's memory has marked this place. The island will never entirely forget. The wings shift, the gold eyes hold the dark. He does not comment on what just happened. A teacher who explains the student's arrival has not understood the arrival. The dark water holds its stillness.